Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today, we go racing here for the Brickyard 400 for another crown jewel race for the final time in our NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode here, as we also go to Indianapolis here in the Xfinity Series. So, one of those rare occasions where, after modding the schedule, it still ends up lining up here for us correctly with the Xfinity Series as well as the Cup Series weekend. So, this was an exciting one to look forward to for us now. Is hoping for a really good performance. We've won the Brickyard 400 before. I think that's where we got our first career win at, actually, if I remember correctly. So the hopes were definitely high coming into our final attempt at this race, but we had the Xfinity race to take care of first, where we had, of course, Paul Menard behind the wheel. Unfortunately, Paul failed technical inspection a few times, so he had to start at the back of the grid. So he had his work cut out for him. We've kind of fallen off over the last few races here in the Xfinity Series, where we were really good, really dominant, winning races with Paul, finishing top 5, top 3 very consistently. And now he's kind of been falling off a little bit. But when I say falling off, he's still able to get top 10 finishes. So it's not like it's the end of the world for us here with this Going Racing team in the Xfinity Series. As well in the Truck Series, have been very strong. On the Cup Series side of things, Going Racing definitely hasn't been a strong threat this season. We do have that win with Suarez behind the wheel at Talladega earlier this season, but that was it now. As you see, Paul got taken 3 wide by Justin Allgaier, and then we come straight through to the final lap of this race, and through turns 3 and now turns 4. Unfortunately, just wasn't meant to be for Paul Menard today here in Indianapolis. After starting in the back, one last push down this front straightaway to the inside of the 21 of Ty Majeski, and he's actually going to get Majeski at the line there. So he ends up getting into the top 10 at the last second as Kimi Räikkönen picks up the victory here from the Brickyard. So a tremendous result from him as you look at the rest of the finishing order on your screen. So down towards the bottom there, you got Matt Mills, Jeff Green, Mike Harmon, as well as at the very last spot, Austin Hill, as we come through into the Cup Series race. Running the Chainsmokers car yet again. Now I'm probably going to bring back the Razor Flame scheme by Lachion starting in the next episode, so stay tuned for that. We came through to start our qualifying lap, and it went wrong very quick as we came through. Out of turns 1 into the wall we would go, and well, around we would go. So that was our qualifying attempt over, and we would end up coming around to qualify in the last position here, unfortunately, as we would look through the rest of the order. So now our last attempt at this race is going to be a lot harder to get a potential race victory here in the Big Machine Vodka 400. And up at the very front of the grid, you got Christian Eckes on pole, who's been on fire lately, along with McLaren driver of Chase Elliott here as we get ready to go green. All right, boys, we've had success here in the past. I don't see why we can't today. We're starting down in the back a little bit, but I think we can still have a good result, so let's go have some fun. There you hear myself on the radio. I should mention, before this race started, when I was doing qualifying, for some reason the video and the audio got desynced again. But I've been so aware of that issue that I was very lucky to look at it after qualifying and realize it. So I ended up fixing it, and I fixed it simply by just closing my Elgato recording software and then restarting it. So I don't know still exactly what's causing it. I thought I had an idea, but it's definitely not something I'm doing in the game. So a little bit weird as we get underway for the start of this Brickyard 400. So no audio delays, thank goodness, here in the race, as we got the 45 of Derek Kraus, the 5 of Kyle Larson for Gordon Hendrick Motorsports there behind us now. The goal here for stage 1, honestly, just try to get to maybe the top 10 if we're really lucky. We know that when we come to this track, we have tremendous pace no matter what the situation is, so I wasn't concerned about the speed in the car. I was just worried about the actual track position aspect of this situation. I don't think we've ever been down here before in Indianapolis, so it was a new setting for myself here at this historic track, and I was hopeful that we could still make it work. We had 11 laps here in stage 1, and 11 laps at Indianapolis is quite a good chunk of time, so I was pretty confident if we can work our way through traffic without too many issues, we can probably get towards the top 10 or even in the top 10 before this stage comes to a close. So I was making a move here on the inside, and we were just making up a good chunk of ground here on this first and opening lap, already up into P32. We're going to make a 3-1 with De Benedetto, as well as the 3 of Austin Dillon go by the inside of Austin Cindric. We get to the inside as well of the Rush LeBron driver of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right there, and already into the top 30 after one complete lap of this race. And we waste no more time. We come through down the back straightaway on lap 2, make it 3 wide again there, passing Carruth as well as Zane Smith, past Byron, and we pass the 12 12 of the Chase Briscoe driver as well, who's been having an up and down season. Briscoe has had a chance to win almost in Bristol, and then he actually fell off quite hard towards the end, which was unfortunate for him. But now after 2 laps, we're about to enter the top 20 here after passing the 2 Penske driver of Ryan Preece. So things going very, very well here. Couldn't have really asked for a better start, and we would just continue moving our way forwards, passing Lewis Hamilton, Keselowski, as well as the 21 of Anthony Alfredo. Then we get to the inside of the 99 of Ross Chastain here, side drafting him down the spike straightaway on just lap 4, as the 83 of Christian Eckes continued to lead the way. So there we go, passing the number 99 now up into 15th place, and we just continue moving our way forwards, just showing how much speed we got in this car. And we consistently see the 48 and 18 of Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman battling on the racetrack around each other, and this has been a common thing lately, and they're both going at it for one of the final playoff positions. So that's a battle that we're going to have to be watching throughout the rest of this regular season, I think, now, as I really don't anticipate many surprise winner opportunities other than Daytona, where we already have a plan to do this right here, push Alex Bowman, but hopefully to victory lane in Daytona now, as we're going to look to the inside of our rival of Joey Logano now, as he's actually going to potentially try to get into the side of me, and yes, sure enough, he does run into the side of us there. We haven't really had many run-ins with Joey recently, as he got sideways through turns 4. He does save it now as we move into the top 10 way earlier than I thought we would. It was before the halfway point in stage 1, but I just kind of connected with my teammate of Alex Bowman and kept on pushing him forwards here, just trying to get him some stage points really, and we would get him past the 66 McLaren of Sam Marin. Up into 8th place we would go, and then I would actually push him to our former teammate at McLaren of Chase Elliott now, as we went down into turns, ran lap 8 of 11 here in this first and opening stage. So Christian Eckes was continuing to lead the way here, so he was putting up a really good pace. So I didn't really know if he was going to be beatable in today's episode, honestly. Now, we saw what he was able to do in Bristol, and he's just been on a tear, and that Red Bull team in general has been on a tear lately ever since the new regulations. Obviously, they did win earlier this season at Sonoma, and then we're now also seeing that AlphaTauri sister team to Red Bull Racing perform a lot better recently, too. But now you can see I decided to actually pass Alex Bowman because I realized I was so much faster than him, and I didn't want to ride behind him any longer now because I got him to the back of the 9 of Elliott, and then he decided he wasn't even going to attempt to pass the 9 car. So I said, okay, I'm done waiting for you and helping you. I'm going to go by and try and also get past the 9 of Elliott within the final 2 laps here of this first and opening stage. So we're going to be side by side, and you can see once we get past Elliott, it's going to be very hard to run down Todd Gilliland in that 38 car now without any draft help as well. But through turns 1, we are going to have that opportunity right here to potentially get the 9 car, but now he's going to fight back strong right there on the outside. As we though go down into turns 2, we get clear of the 9 of Chase Elliott, move up into P6. What a first stage it has been here for us in Indianapolis for the Brickyard 400. We have set a great pace, and then the caution actually comes out, and that is going to end stage 1 a lap and a half early here, as Christian Eckes is your stage winner. Another playoff point. If he could have had this pace all season long, he could have easily been in the mix for the regular season championship. I can't remember exactly where he is in the point standings right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was still somewhat in the mix, and we still have a handful of regular season races to go. So still some time for things to shake up with the playoffs now, as we are coming into the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires. We gained 2 spots on the pit lane, so a great stop, putting us now on row number 2 in P4 here for the start of stage 2, which is now underway. Eckes, Burton, Eric Jones, and myself, and then Todd Gilliland, your top 5, not having amped for the start of stage 2 this time. We're changing it up a little bit. Amped will be here for the start of the 3rd and final stage in today's episode, so stay tuned for that here in just a little bit now. As we're right on the back of the 19, actually, as I get in the wall out of turns 1, that was just a dumb mistake on my part, and then I also mess up turns 2, and that is going to allow the 22 of Joey Logano to get to my inside, and he's already trying to turn me into the wall here now, as I'm going to take him all the way to the infield now, putting Logano through the grass down the back straightaway sideways. A big save there from the Penske champion of Joey Logano, and then I overshoot turns 3 because I was too focused on watching my rear view mirror to see what was going on with the 22, and that would allow Joey to go by anyway. So after all of that, me forcing him into the grass after he tried to put me in the wall, well, it got us absolutely nothing, because now here we are looking at that back bumper of that Pennzoil Ford Mustang. So a lot of work to do now if we're going to get back past our rival of Joey Logano. We know we have potential pace today to win this race like we do every time when it comes to Indianapolis, but but there's always a hurdle like Joey Logano in the way that really makes it tough for myself to get by and go on with my day. So we've proven this season, though, that we're not afraid to be physical with that 22, just shove him out of the way, drive right on through him. So I wasn't going to be afraid to do that here today either, now on a high-speed circuit like the Brickyard 400 of Indianapolis. So out of turns to 4, though, on the end of lap 2, a big mistake from myself there. Out of turns 4, I was just pushing too hard on the throttle, trying to stick with the 22, trying to hopefully get an opportunity to pass him, and unfortunately I hit the wall. So now down to P8 here with 10 laps to go in the second stage, right behind the number 17 of Christopher Bell. Another driver right now who's on that bubble for the playoffs now, as that's the best performance that we've seen from the 17 since this Roush-LeBron partnership. It has really turned that team specifically around. The 6 car with Stenos, they've been running better at times, but overall have still been struggling quite a bit now. As you see on the track map, Christian Eckes, by the time we came through to lap 5, still leading the way here in stage 2, as I was now doing the same thing with Christopher Bell that I was with Alex Bowman in stage 1, just bump drafting them and hoping that would get us to the next car ahead. And well, the next car ahead, as we know, is that number 22 of Joey Logano. So it's about to get a little bit interesting here as I decide now we're going to make a move to the inside of Christopher Bell here, now on the halfway point just about in the second stage. And now we have to try and clear that 17 and then find the right opportunity to get past the 22 of Joey Logano. I didn't feel like I could pass him on the inside cleanly because he's just going to try and run us onto the apron and spin us out, maybe even take us completely out of this race. So my mindset was I was probably going to just have to punt the 22 and send him sideways if I really want to get past him now, as you would get clear of the 17 of Christopher Bell, move up into P7, and then set our sights on that guy, Joey Logano. So now with 5 laps to go here in stage 2, right to the back of him, giving him a bump into turns 1, but not going to be enough right there. So he hangs on to the car, and we continue on with our day for at least a few moments now. As we came through to lap 8, though, I decided, you know what, we have a big run. We're going to take it to the inside here, and hopefully we have enough momentum to get clear of the 22. And sure enough, into turn 3, we are clear of Joey Logano, but I had to slow up quite a bit to make the corner of the 22. Got to my bumper, pushes us up out of the groove a little bit there on the exit, now on our inside through turns 4, and well, Joey Logano goes right back in front of us. So now back down into the 7th position here as we come through down this front straightaway. So I wasted no time. This was more frustration building in. I don't have anywhere near the run I had on the last corner, but I decided to try it again here down this front straightaway into turns 1, and up the inside we go. And now some contact with Logano. We get clear, but he shoves us up out of the groove again out of turns 2. Now we come together and nearly putting him down off the track and into the back of us. He goes 2 turns to a big slide from the 22 of Logano. He saves the car, and out of turns 2, I hit the wall again now and mess up our car even more. This time we damage the right side of the car pretty well, as Hailie Deegan would get by there, as she's got a lot of speed in her number 4 car today. So everything was just going downhill here in stage 2, but I was focused now on just getting back to that 22, because now I'm thinking, okay, not necessarily focused on wrecking Joey Logano, I should mention, but we got back to him, no problem, with just over 2 laps to go, and then finally I sail him off into turn 3, and I push right through the 22 of Joey Logano. Very fortunate to not wreck either myself or him, but thank goodness we make it work. And now he gets to our back bumper, though, out of turns 4, and down this front straightaway, he would give us a bit of a push, but we actually had enough speed in the car to pull away finally from the 22, but I was still focused on getting past him and trying to pass the 4 of Hailie Deegan, because I was thinking about the damages on this car that we're going to have to repair, and I don't want to be lining up behind that 22 in stage 3 and then have to deal with that all over again. So now in the final lap of stage 2, by the way, Todd Gilliland was the only driver so far today to take the lead away from Christian Eckes, as he is looking like he is going to be in position here to win the second stage, as we're side by side here and clear of the 4 of Hailie Deegan now out of turns 3 into turns 4 for the final time. A lot of speed in that Stewart-Haas 4 car, probably the most speed we've seen from an SHR car all season long, but clearly not enough here as we go down this front straightaway for the final time here in stage 2 for the Brickyard 400, and we will come through to cross the line way out of striking distance for a top 5, but we at least get the P6 spot. So definitely didn't know exactly what to think yet of this car. It was driving good, and if we can just stay out of trouble, stay away from the 22 of Joey Logano specifically, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. So Logano currently in the 8th position. I was concerned because we have a second of repairs, and that could put us at least side by side with Joey Logano. That was kind of what I was expecting, to be on the same row of him here going into this third and final stage, as Max Gutierrez currently in that last position. No DNF so far, but fortunately Logano had a bad pit stop and we didn't lose anything. So there's 2 rows now between myself and Logano, which puts us pretty safe here, starting P6 for the start of the third and final stage here in the Brickyard 400, which is now underway, and for the first time today, it is time to get amped. There you have the amp segment here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, running P6 now at the inside of Bubba Wallace for P5. Now 3 wins on the season for Bubba so far, and he had 3 wins last season. Can he top it this year with 4 in the final season of the NASCAR 85 career mode? Something we're going to have to keep an eye out for now, as we were on the move and on a charge here in the final 11 laps of this race. Now to the outside of Harrison Burton, passing him for 4th, up the inside of Todd Gilliland. Eric Jones leading the way from McLaren over 2nd place of Christian Eckes now, as I unfortunately couldn't complete the pass on Todd right there, but down into turns 1 right here now on lap 31 with 10 laps to go, we would still be side by side, as they were side by side in front of us for the lead, and I did not want Christian Eckes to get away. I know he's got a fast car, so I was really trying to do this right here out of turns 2, clear that 38. I kind of forced it right there, but I didn't hit him. I didn't put him in the wall. We kept it as clean as possible. So now on lap 32, out of turns 2, a mistake right there for Eric Jones, and that opens the door for myself to slip up the inside now down this back straightaway, and now Haley Deacon behind us there in 4th place. Her car has really seemed to got something late in this race, and definitely a car we're gonna have to watch out for before it comes to a close now, as we're still side by side with Jones into turn 3, but he takes a bit of a weird wide entry, and that allows myself to get clear for the runner-up spot and set our sights on that guy right there, Christian Eckes in the number 83 Red Bull Toyota Camry, and I was wasting no time. I wanted to get to him, get by him as quick as possible, but we know from past races here, it takes multiple laps to make a pass on the inside, and your only option to really get clear in one go is to just sail it off into the corner, but then you risk completely blowing through the corner and leaving the inside wide open, and then they can get back past you anyway. So it's really a tough situation when you're trying to pass the leader. You saw it right there. I couldn't complete the pass on the 83 of Eckes. Now we look to the outside of him out of turns 4, deciding to try and do what I did on Chase Elliott back in season 1 or season 2, I believe it was, here of the Cup Series. Now as we go down this front straightaway side by side, the caution comes out about maybe 2 seconds before we were going to be in front of the 83 just by a little bit, and we would have been scored the leader, but now we're going to be still scored second on the outside here for what could be the final restart of the day. If that caution could have waited like 2 more seconds, that would have been great, and it looked like it was Ross Chastain who brought out the yellow flag there now, as we're going to be side by side with Eckes, and on the row behind us we got Haley Deegan as well as Todd Gilliland, as the green flag is back out and the race is back underway with just 3 laps to go. It is crunch time here in Indianapolis. Now, can we clutch up and get our 5th win already on the season now, which would top what we had last season already before the playoffs even start? As we're side by side with Eckes, I force him down into turn 2. He goes up a little bit, and now we make contact into turn 2. Up the track we go, and we lose a bunch of ground there. The 4 of Deacon goes by, the 7 of Jones goes by, the 23 of Bubba Wallace as well, and then Logano got to the back of us here. Thank goodness, actually, he didn't have an opportunity to run into me. So now down this front straightaway, trying to move our way back forwards. Alex Bowman up here in the top 5, having a great run. 2 laps to go here in the Brickyard 400 to the inside of the 48 into turns 1, and now we try to move up into that top 5 here. Now we know we have a good car, but I knew my chances of winning at this point were pretty much over, because my option here is to pass on the inside. I cannot do that in 1 lap, and that's all we're gonna have. So I knew it wasn't looking good, as we would clear the 7 down this pack straightaway. Now to the inside of the 2311 driver of Bubba Wallace there in that DoorDash Toyota Camry, and now we're sideways straightways right there, but you can see even for third place, I'm having a tough time getting past on the bottom, but I was committed to making it happen right here. Through turns 4, we're gonna get throttled up very just aggressively right there, and that would allow myself to get that final push to clear the 23 as we come through down this front straightaway, now approaching the final lap, which is now underway here in Indianapolis. Didn't know what I wanted to do. Right here I decided, you know what, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna push Hailie Deegan down the back straightaway into turn 3 and try and get her side by side with Christian Eckes, and then I am hopeful that they push up the track a little bit, and then I can just sweep through 3 wide and potentially steal the win, because I know I cannot just straight up pass them on the inside. I'm gonna have to hope that they get side by side, push up the track, and leave the door wide open for me. So half a lap to go. We get to the back of the 4. We give Hailie Deegan a push down this back straightaway into turn 3. She looks up the inside of the 83 of Christian Eckes right there, but I'm right on her back bumper, but it's not going to be enough because I'm the one sliding up the track through turns 3, and that allows the 4 to get away still side by side with the Red Bull driver of Christian Eckes. Out of turns 4, it's not going to be enough from either of us, as in the final moments, Hailie Deegan comes through to steal the win here and make history as the first female winner in the NASCAR Cup Series ever, as we have to settle for another runner-up finish here on the Brickyard 400 now. As if we could have just had things play out a little bit differently, if I could have that restart back, of course I would 100% have taken turn 2 specifically differently than I had. That was probably where we lost the race, honestly, so that was in itself very frustrating to think about, because we just went into turns 2, and I had forced the 83 down the track going into turns 2, and he just pushed up a little bit trying to get a proper apex and didn't really care that I was there, but at the same time, I'm the one that put him in that position in the first place, so it was really my fault. So that was unfortunate how that ended, but I mean, can't complain about another second place finish, but it could have been another win, which would have been nice. But in the next episode, we have all 4 series, including Iowa here in the Cup Series. So first of 2 Iowa races. As you guys know, this is a cutoff race for the Final 4. So that's a track where we're going to get a lot of experience at again, a track that I enjoyed last season. We had a chance to win here in the first Iowa race, so hopefully we can repeat that. If you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. I'd like to thank you all for taking your time out of your day to watch this episode. Of course, Hailie Deegan is now locked in the playoffs with that victory, and she should be easily inside the top 30 no matter what happens at this point here within the final handful of regular season races. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this playoff grid plays out. We didn't really anticipate a surprise win like that happening, but there you see the next handful of races, including some road courses of Canada, my home track, Watkins Glen as well, and then Daytona as a regular season finale. Just want to say thank you to the Going Racing members of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Bubba Jr., Brett Durward, Dark Gengar Gaming, AJ Vasura, Russell Dixon, Kenneth Barnett, Dana9302, Speed Demon 341, as well as Illinois Diecast. I really do appreciate your guys' support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.